You ever look at your glasses and think, wow, I would love to permanently reshape my eyeballs with a laser? No? Well, over 20 million people have, since approval in the late 1990s, and most of them are happy. But today, we're not doing the brochure version. Today, we're doing the fine print, because most of the time, that gets very little attention. Welcome to Waffle Ladders.
Is that where they peel your eyes open like a fruit roll-up?
Starting strong today, huh? Now let's climb the ladder. Number 10, you're awake the whole time. Let's dig into the actual procedure. You're not just awake, which you are, you're lying flat, eyes wide open, told to stare at a fixed point while a machine moves toward your eyeball. There's also something called a suction ring used during part of the procedure. It stabilizes your eye, increases pressure briefly, can cause your vision to go dark for a few seconds.
Hold on, vision goes dark?
Temporarily, totally normal. But imagine not knowing that ahead of time. You don't feel pain, but you are very aware something is happening. That's a different kind of experience than people expect from the word laser. Number 9, they cut a flap in your eye. Let's make this clear, because the brochure version is, let's just say, polite. They create a thin flap in your cornea using either a blade, which is microkeratome, or a femtosecond laser. That flap is lifted back, the underlying tissue reshaped, then the flap is placed back down. No stitches, it just adheres.
So it's just like sitting there?
Yes, held in place by natural adhesion, which works, but it also means that flap is never actually the same as before. In rare cases, it can shift, wrinkle, or heal irregularly, especially if the eye is rubbed too soon after surgery.
So no aggressive eye rubbing.
Congratulations, you now fear your own hands. Number 8, dry eyes can stick around. Here's why dry eye happens. LASIK cuts tiny nerves in the cornea. Ooh, that sounds scary, right? Those nerves help regulate tear production, eye moisture. After surgery, those nerves need time to heal. For many people, weeks, maybe a few months. For others, it can last much, much longer. Sometimes it never heals. And the symptoms can include burning, gritty feeling, like you got sand in your eye, needing drops constantly, eyes feeling tired faster.
So your eyes feel dry even when they're not?
Exactly. It's not just moisture, it's signal disruption to your brain. Number 7, night vision can get weird. This one catches people off guard, especially if you have larger pupils or higher prescriptions. At night, your pupils dilate. That can expose areas of the cornea that weren't perfectly corrected. The result? You get halos around things, starbursts, glare, and reduced contrast, making it harder to see things. In fact, 41% of people have new glares. Not a deal breaker for most, but for some it becomes impossible to drive at night.
So headlights turn into fireworks.
Yes, and not the fun kind. For most people, this improves over time, but for a good portion, it never fully goes away. Number 6, it's not always permanent. LASIK, if all goes well, corrects your vision today. It's very good at getting you close to 20/20, but it doesn't affect the future. It does not stop aging, obviously. Eye shape changes as you get older, presbyopia, reading vision decline. So even if everything goes perfectly, you will probably still need reading glasses later. Notice gradual changes too.
So LASIK solves one problem, but not all future problems.
Exactly. It's a correction, not a lifetime warranty. So it's good to think of this as a medium-term solution and not permanent. Number 5, not everyone is a good candidate. This one matters more than people think, and many LASIK centers don't emphasize this enough in their efforts to get one more sale. Remember, these procedures used to cost $10,000 or more. When these procedures were taken off insurance sheets, the cost plummeted to several $1,000s. So they need to run more people through the shop to keep the same profit margins. Good candidates generally need stable vision for at least a year, sufficient corneal thickness, no certain eye diseases. But here's the part that can bite you hard in certain circumstances. Many clinics offer free consultations.
I mean, hey, that sounds nice.
Well, it is, but it's also part of the funnel. Some clinics are more conservative than others, and that could depend on nothing more than sales being down. You really want a clinic that will turn you away if you're not a good candidate. Recommend alternatives. Others may say, you're probably fine. Second opinions exist for a reason. Number 4, the 20/20 vision promises isn't guaranteed. Let's translate the marketing. 20/20 vision means you can see at 20 feet what a typical person sees at 20 feet. It does not mean perfect clarity, no visual artifacts, no need for glasses ever again. Some people end up 20/25 or 20/30 or needing minor correction like glasses. So that's not optimum. You were trying to get rid of glasses, right? This point is often glossed over during the sales pitch, so take note.
So technically, it's improved, but not perfect.
Exactly. Better is common, and for most it is, but perfect is never guaranteed. Number 3, ophthalmologists usually wear glasses or contacts. To conduct this surgery, you must be an ophthalmologist. So they all get this surgery if they need correction and are qualified, right? Well, actually, no. A 2024 study analyzing headshots of ophthalmologists in the Western Washington state region found approximately 19% of the 197 ophthalmologists reviewed were visibly wearing eyeglasses in their professional headshots. This one should really give you pause. If this surgery was completely safe, then one would expect a lot less. Further analysis showed that only 38% of potential candidates for corrective eyes surgery had gotten the surgery. So, ophthalmologists, who are the most qualified cohort of people to assess the procedure, get this surgery less than half the time. Now, why would that be?
If an eye doctor is wearing glasses and recommending I get this surgery, I'm running out of that office.
That sounds smart to me. Number 2, complications are rare, but real. Let's get serious. How common are complications? The industry says they are rare, less than 1%. Is that true? Well, let's think about this. Dr. Morris Waxler, who was on the FDA panel that voted to approve the procedure, claims that a more comprehensive look at the data found that complications are much more common than declared. He says as high as 10 to 30% of patients experience some side effect. His analysis showed a 27% occurrence of new or worse dry eyes. He claims that data was hidden and obscured. We've seen that before, right? We're talking about things like persistent visual distortions, double vision or ghosting, headaches. There have been several people who have committed suicide after the surgery, with one woman writing that LASIK ruined her life. And here's the key difference. With most surgery, if something goes wrong, you can often revise it. With LASIK, options are very limited.
So low probability, but high consequences.
That's the exact trade-off, Dan. Number 1, you're electively altering your eyes. Let's zoom out. LASIK is elective, irreversible in the traditional sense, performed on one of the most sensitive organs you have. And again, for many people, it's absolutely worth it. But the decision often gets framed as, glasses are annoying, fix it. Instead of, this is a surgical procedure with real trade-offs. If 20 million people have had this and 1% have had issues, that's 200,000 people. If it's closer to Dr. Waxler's number, it's at least 2 million people with issues. That's a little scary if you ask me.
So it's not, should I do it? It's, do I understand what I'm doing?
Exactly. Risk versus benefit analysis is a must here. Well, there you have it. Look, this isn't anti-LASIK, although I would never get it. It's a pro-awareness because the people who are happiest with it are usually the ones who understood the risks, had realistic expectations, and weren't rushed into it. And, most importantly, were good candidates. The people who regret it often say the same thing. I didn't know that was a possibility.
So the real issue isn't the laser.
It's the lack of the fine print. So if you're considering LASIK, ask questions, get a second opinion, and don't let convenience rush a permanent decision. Well, if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing and give us a comment about your experiences if you had one with LASIK. And until next time, keep climbing.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.